Hey guys, Big Appa back here with an updated Vinsmoke Reiju deck profile. This list I went 3-1-1 with. All right, let's start with the one drops, as always. I am running a single copy of the Germa 66. It's just to basically smooth out our early games, make sure that we can hit some searchers and maybe hit the kingdom when we need it. And that goes into our 4 Sanjis. These are a new printed card from OP10. It is absolutely gas in this deck. It can find itself, you can find any of the other Germa cards, and like I said, it just speeds up everything. It makes everything a lot more consistent for us. And then we run 4 of the kingdoms. Must have, required, just like the other searchers are. You have to run these in order to be successful with Reiju. And we are still on 4 of the Soras. 2K recycles your non-suited characters. Absolute gas. All right, we're going to move into some 2s now. I am running a 2 of the Gamma Knife. This gets around your kids, this gets around your Blackbeard, this gets around any big body that's going to stop you from hitting into the life piles that you want to hit into. And then on top of that, I run 2 Hound Blazes. This is going to help you close out games. And this card you want to see in the Shanks matchup. This will actually help you propel yourself over the Shanks matchup, especially once they've resolved 1, maybe 2 of their 10-drop Shanks, but hopefully you've beaten them before they can resolve 2 of them. And the bounce effect is just a nice little bonus. You'll find its uses here and there. A lot of times I end up just returning one of my Sanjis to my deck. And then we'll go into the first of our Vinsmoke. We got the Reiju, 4 of. Just best draw card in probably the entire game. You're drawing essentially 3 cards when you resolve that down. Sometimes only 2, but usually 3. All right, we're gonna hop into our Foxy Pirates package. This is pretty standard from what I was running before. 3 of the Foxies. It's a 2K. You can get it down, and pretty much always you're gonna be able to make it pop it to draw a card. Biggest thing though is it's the searchable 2K for you off your Porsche. I run 3 of the Tony Chopper blockers. This is where I'm gonna get into like the I would say maybe the ethos of the deck or how the deck is meant to be played. You're meant to be attacking every single turn. Turns that you can only resolve a Tony Chopper don't feel good. Now, this is going to help you in terms of staying alive a little bit longer. It's just a chump blocker, but it's also super easy to remove. But it makes decks like Lucci or Control Shanks or Bonnies, anything that's trying to control your board state a little bit, it's going to make them focus on this because you're going to have a free blocker up. That being said, I have maybe used this Tony Chopper a handful of times, like 4 or 5 times in the times since I've been playing Reiju. And that's just because really what it comes down to is I'm just putting more counter in my hand. That's really what it's there for. And then we run a 3 of the Porsche. This is a main engine in the deck. On top of your searchers and your event, or your stage, I'm so sorry, this is what's going to get you to accelerate past all these other decks. And this is what's going to help you go wider than anybody else. Like, yeah, some of the Tony Chopper or the Zuros are going to be able to go as wide as you, but nobody's going to be able to go wider than you. They're either going to match you or you're going to just stomp them out. I love seeing this on turn 2 if I go first and then I can just resolve this and Nichiji right away. I'm going to swing in for a 7 and a 5 that turn. Or, it's really cool to see with the Reiju, because you're going to lose a bunch of Dawn, you're going to play a bunch of cards out of your hand, you might get 1 back in, but then you're going to draw those 3 cards early game. It's going to really help you get ahead of your opponent. That rounds out the Foxy Pirates package. We're going to go into the rest of our 3 drops here. 3 of the Black Marias. I am in the boat of saying that we could potentially cut a couple cards and maybe get this up to 4, but it feels fine with 3. The matchups where you need to resolve this. You need to get this Black Maria down if you're playing a Lim, a Ploofy, or any other deck that accelerates their Dawn. Because essentially what starts to happen is they can take more game actions in a single turn than you, and so effectively they're going to be able to go wider than you. So this is going to help you stay on curve with them. Because again, you don't ever want to be ahead in Dawn. You just want to match your opponent's Dawn as often as possible. Black Maria is the perfect card for that. On top of having the busted effect, it's also a 2K, which is just, you know, like I said in my last video, it's kind of disgusting. Here are the Nijis. I love this card. It plays great into the meta right now. There are plenty of 2 or less or 4 or lesses that you're going to want to target with the suited version. Other than that, really the biggest benefit is knowing that I can get this in the hand, and depending on the matchup, usually it's just a free counter. I just know I'm going to dump it off as a counter. Or if I want the 6K body for the suited version, then I'm going to go for the 6K body. But typically, I'm just using it as a counter unless I get a good matchup and I know I'm going to use that bounce or the pop effect. For the Ichijis, obviously the suited version is the best card in our entire deck. I mean, what else do I need to say? It's a 4 for essentially a 7K attacker with Rush. I don't know if there's any other cards in the game that go that hard. 4 for a 7 with Rush. That's just bonkers to think about. And on to the suited versions that we have here. For the Reijus, obviously. Like I said earlier, it's going to draw you so many cards, it's going to feel absolutely disgusting. And your opponents are constantly going to be asking you, how many cards do you have in your hand? And you're always going to say 6 or 7. Sometimes you're going to say 8. The Niji, like I said earlier, KO a 2 or less or bounce a 4 or less. I just think it's one of these cards, it's not looked at enough right now with other Reiju players. Slot it in. Try it out. Trust me, it feels good to hit these off of your searches and then pitch them for a counter and then know that it's in the trash and ready for you when you need to blow something up or bounce something, right? Notably, this is going to get rid of blockers or searchers, right? This is what this does. All right. We run one of the Gum Gum Red Rock now. My last list, I had 2 of them. The issue was I was bricking my hands up all the time. So we're down to 1. You know when you need it. If you're playing Blackbeard, you're never going to dump this card. You're going to keep it in hand. You're going to try to draw into it because you don't have a searchable way to find it. But again, it's your Blackbeard matchup that you're going to keep it. And I would say there's a couple other matchups where it's going to help you. You know, sometimes if you can't find your Gamma Knife and this is in hand, it's going to help you get through the kid blockers, the 8-drop kid that forces you to attack into it, which is a dumb card in this format, but hey, whatever. We got a way to get rid of it, and we got a way to get rid of those stupid Blackbeard blockers. I have had a bunch of people ask me if I would run Gravity Blade over this. Gravity Blade is not as good as this. Gravity Blade is 7. Yeah, you bounce 2, but you are restricted by the cost of the character. This just says anything. I'd rather spend 6 Dawn and remove the body to the bottom of the deck and know that I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the game than be bouncing it somewhere else or having to invest 7 mana to potentially bounce 2. So that's where I stand. Red Rock over Gravity Blade. Always. You're never going to run Gravity Blade. I just don't think it's good. At least not in this list. And then obviously, 4 of the Ichijis. Like I said earlier, 4 Dawn to put a 7K Rusher into play and you get a minus something by 2K, it's pretty disgusting. Remember how to sequence this properly. You know, if you got a Gamma Knife in hand and you know you need to get rid of the Blackbeard blocker, you're going to want a Gamma Knife before you drop this down, right? So you're going to need 6 Dawn that turn to do it, but you'll be able to get there. And what you'll do is or not Gravity Blade, Gamma Knife, that's what I meant to say. That's so funny. But what you're going to do is you're going to put this down, you're going to minus it by 2K, right? Assuming it's sideways for you. Then you're going to hit it with the Gamma Knife. You're going to minus it by 5. So that's a minus 7 on a 12. That's going to put it at exactly 5 Dawn for you. Or, I'm sorry, 5K power. And then you're going to be able to swing in and kill that thing. Unless they want to give you a 2K. All right. Now that we've completed that, let's talk about some ideal opening hands. Because that is what matters here. Oopsie, wrong card there. Sorry, guys. things. This is an ideal turn 1 opening hand. This is the most ideal hand you can get. Obviously, turn 1, you're going to go Kingdom, activate Kingdom, pitch this to the trash. Now you've got 3 in hand, plus whatever you searched off the Kingdom. And then turn 2, you're going to hit 3 Dawn. You're going to drop this portion to play, hopefully hit a 2K off of it. And then off the Porsche effect, you're going to drop this. You're going to draw a card off your leader. You're going to have a 2K in hand, possibly more than one 2K. Draw your card, get your thing into play, and then pop this, go into your suit from the trash. Boom, turn 2. You have a 5K, your leader, and then a 7K that you're swinging with. It's really hard to stop the momentum on that. And then I'm not going to lie to you guys. If you can find a Porsche off of your Porsche drop, you're going to win the game. There's just no coming back from it. Even if you're really reducing your Dawn hard off of this, because you're going to be losing 2 Dawn every turn, you're not going to go above 4 Dawn if you keep hitting this back-to-back turns, you know? Let's just say each Porsche finds another Porsche. That means that every turn you're going to be able to establish 2 bodies, and usually you're going to have a rusher, right? Because you're going to try to find those EGGs at all costs. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the most ideal opening hand. Obviously, you want some sort of 2K. It doesn't have to be the Sora. The Sora is just nice because if you do find another EGG and your non-suited EGGs in garbage, you can just play this down, get another one, and keep cycling. And keep going. That being said, if you're hitting 3 or back-to-back Porsches like that, you really want to hope that you have a Black Maria in hand. Just because the Black Maria is going to help you stabilize your Dawn. It's going to make it so these Lim players can't just rush right past you, and same with the Plouffe players too. That being said, if you high roll a Plouffe deck or you high roll a Lim deck, there's absolutely no reason you should be losing that game. You should win. I mean, you don't even have to see the Porsches. I played a Lim game last Saturday. No, it was Monday. It was actually Monday I played that game against one of my buddies, and I didn't see a Porsche, and I still whomped him. I gave it to him good. And then we played a second game, and my opening hand was garbage, so he kind of won that second game. But the first game, he had no chance. I've never lost to a Plouffe player. That's also because I've never lost the dice roll against the Plouffe player, so eventually I'm sure I'll just take an L against one. But yeah, from my experiences, you know, those are 2 meta decks, so you're going to be able to storm past. You shouldn't have any problem with Shanks as long as it's not control Shanks. And same with Zorro. You're not going to have a problem with Zorro. They're going to go wide, and you're just going to prioritize certain bodies, right? You're going to be using your 7K attackers to prioritize bodies on their field, and then you're going to use your 5K attackers to slowly whittle down the life. The NL matchup, I've had other players tell me, other Reiju players say that they feel fine playing into the NL matchup. I do not feel fine playing into the NL matchup. I don't know if it's just my buddy who plays locally here and I just, for some reason, get in my head and maybe that's why I can't beat him or what it is. But there is an underlying reason as to why I cannot beat an L. I'm going to say it's more than likely a player skill issue than it is a deck issue because we go so wide and so hard. And I also know that all these matches I've played against him, I've never hit Porsches or anything. So it comes down to that, you know. Some other stuff we can talk about too is it is totally within your ability and your right to remove certain cards and increase your Porsche and Black Maria count to 4 each. The cards I would think about maybe removing for that are likely like the Hound Blazes. Or I would remove 1 Hound Blaze and possibly the Red Rock for it. Just because the Red Rock is a very situational card. It is something that you're only looking forward to seeing in certain matchups. But it can still be used all the same. This is Big Appa. I've had fun. I'm glad you guys are showing a lot of interest in that first video I made. I'll keep making videos. I've got some ideas. I want to talk to some of my local players here and see if maybe they'll do some deck profiles with me and kind of get those up and going. I might try to get another local player here to record some games with me because he has his own channel that he does recordings on and whatnot, and I'd really like to see his channel grow a bit as well. But that being said, hey, this is Appa. Yip, yip, guys. I'll see you around.